Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Tyrone back with Tech Life, and in today's video, I wanted to report to you guys that Sprint's earnings call is coming up on May 3rd, and I wanted to let you guys know my thoughts and opinions on it, and then I have some more information on their debt situation. So this earnings call is going to be big for Sprint. Marcelo had said a few months back that that was one of their toughest quarters. So I see them not hitting estimate numbers from analysts. I see them being below, but I do still see them adding on the postpaid side. But I do see them losing a ton on the prepaid once again. Also, I don't see them turning a profit just yet. I think they will take another loss on that side. They will get better though, but soon, as they have, gotten rid of the 50%, raised pricing, they're still below the competition, but as they raise pricing and they get rid of direct to you and they do some more cutting, they will eventually turn profit soon. So, and also I want to hear from you guys what your thoughts and opinions are on it. Do you think Sprint's going to do good? I haven't heard Marcelo be too vocal. He was very quiet. And, as I told you guys before, Sprint's fiscal year is different. So they are not in the first quarter. They are barely finishing the fourth quarter. So, each carrier is gonna be different on the numbers. As all the other carriers have already reported their fourth quarter numbers, Sprint is just now doing that. So I would say that Sprint would have had a solid holiday because of the deals, and I want to say they would be somewhere around 200,000 to 300,000 on postpaid ads, but the subscriber losses have been hurting them. As I've reported in the past few days, they're going to relaunch that as well. So we'll definitely see the turnout on May 3rd, and I will report back to you guys. So next, Sprint's debt situation. So now last year there was a rule put into place that all carriers have to include leases on their future balance sheets. So therefore, approximately 17 billion more in debt. So Sprint will gain an additional $17 billion in debt on their balance sheet from these leases. So that's another burden they will have to figure out in the future. So as you can see, the graph below shows how much debt is expected in the near future. So I have this graph. So as you can see, Sprint has a lot of debt to pay back over the next few years. So it's gonna be a tricky situation at Sprint. They had 4 billion due this quarter. This fourth quarter they paid that 4 billion. Then in 17 fiscal year they have another 1.5 billion due. In 18, 3 billion, and in 19 another 3 billion. That's a lot of debt. That additional 17 billion would put Sprint alone as a company at close to 60 billion in debt. So they're going to become a risk. Their equity is below. They have more debt than they have equity. See, Verizon and AT&T have a lot of debt as well, but their equity is more than their debt. Sprint's equity is at around 19 billion. Without those leases being added on the balance sheet, their debt is at like 40 billion now. With this additional 17 billion, that puts them at 57 billion, and their equity is still at 19. So that's, those ratios are ridiculous. A lot of companies are going to think twice on taking that risk. SoftBank took that risk back then. They're not really being a major player in helping Sprint with cash flow. They're kind of sitting back quiet. In the past, that's why I'm really looking forward to this earnings call to see if maybe Masa will speak on the earnings call and say that Sprint has their support. He's done it in the past. Analysts took it very well. They gave him a positive, like, hey, Masa is with them, but he's been very quiet. So, and I don't think, based on their rules and regulations, that they can invest. But in order for them to make a merger happen or any type of deal at 60 billion, SoftBank's going to have to absorb a lot of that debt. They're going to have to pay for it, pay it down, whatever the case may be. And then Sprint could maybe reach a deal with another carrier. But for another company to take on 60 billion in debt, I don't think they'll reach a deal at this current state. So I just wanted to let you guys know that's the situation that Sprint's in. Earnings call is coming May 3rd, so I'm definitely looking forward to that. It will tell us a lot. It will tell us the capex. Are they going to get to that 4 billion? I mean, increase it to the 4 billion and stay below the 5. Also they will tell us the outlook for the year of 17, fiscal year of 17, to let us know they predict this much growth. And of course, they're going to talk about the network and improvements and all that stuff. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. So let me know in the comment section down below. Do you think Sprint can make any deal possible with that amount of debt? Do you think SoftBank would even, if SoftBank absorbed a lot of that debt, that means they would lose money? I think SoftBank would be okay with just breaking even, just pay me what I spent on Sprint and then we're even. But if they pay that, and then it just wouldn't make any sense for SoftBank to make any money. Because I would say they would have to absorb at least that 17 billion, at least that 17 billion that's being added on from the lease back. They would have to at least absorb that, if not a little more, to reach a deal with any company. So definitely sound off in the comment section. Give these videos a thumbs up. It is much appreciated. Keeps me motivated, keeps me going. Like, share, and subscribe. This is Tyrone with Tech Life, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.